Glaive is my favorite drug dealer.
Yeah.
Slade's got to come in and disappear for a while, and then come back in and drop a nice hint of je ne sais quoi, and poke fun at Mister Glaive. Glaive's a he doesn't deal drug dealers. It's legitimate stuff, right? He used to
Yeah,
be,
legit.
you're right. Mr. Glaive, how long have you been playing Warcraft 3 for, and why the hell are you still playing it today, man?
Well, let's
Tell us
see.
your story.
Let's see. Well, I've been playing since probably I think the first time I played Warcraft 3 was back in 2002. Hell, I still remember Reign of Chaos, like version 1.15, I believe. That's when I started. Uh,
Yeah, Raining Chaos. That. I played a lot of Raining Chaos.
yeah. I mean, as to why I'm playing now, well, I mean, I don't know. It's a game that just always stuck with me. Like I've played lots of games, Diablo, WoW, Warcraft 3, um, and just a game that stuck with me. And it's a game that's like easy to come back into and leave. Also, like
What seems to be the case with a lot of people, and especially since the game has a long history of like 20 years plus, people coming and going in the scene. People have left, I think recently now with all the changes, a lot of, we were saying in chat before, like a lot of guys are disappeared, and who's really streaming most of the time? Like you got your Saul 8-mans who are streaming now a lot, and guys like that. But yeah, community is definitely changing. But with the LOL guys like Tyler that came in and started streaming, I think it brought a little bit more interest in from random people, kind of like fresh meat into the scene a little bit. So I know BattleNet kind of getting a revitalized scene with Reforged 2.0 and that kind of stuff. But what's your opinions on the Blizzard side of things for the Reforged 2.0 and what they've done with the game?
I like the interface. I like how they've tried to bring the old TFT feel back. Uh, the latter, however, is leaves a lot to be desired right now.
Right.
The matchmaking is weird.
But
Right now, we have a 1600 player who's number one in BattleNet. So,
isn't that crazy? Who's the player?
Grumpy,
Oh, Grumpy. Yes, yeah,
and I think he's
Grumpy.
streaming. He's streaming right now, actually.
That's so funny. It's because he's massing games.
Yeah, but he's also got a pretty solid win rate too, and that's what's weird. Like, but he has played like 500 games. He's got like an 80% win rate.
That's
I
crazy,
don't, but his MMR is also really low too. I don't know how it works.
man.
That's what I'm saying. Like the MMR system in Battle.net is really broken. Um, like if they can fix that, like I feel like that would be a major improvement. Like a major step back to what the game was. But I don't think it's ever going to get to where it was just because it's an old game now, and
Well,
most people have moved on to other stuff.
yeah, it's funny that they're patching in and trying to do stuff. I know they try to revitalize Warcraft and with the anniversary and everything with all their assets and stuff. But I don't understand that they've messed it up before, they've messed it up again, and now they're trying to fix it again, and they're still patching the game, and they're still making, and they still can't get the ladder straight. It doesn't make any sense. And like you said, if the ladder was decent, I think everybody would be playing on the ladder, and there wouldn't be necessarily a need for W3C, even though they fill a good void. Uh, and I've met a couple of high end players on there, and it's like it's not enjoyable. Like
Yeah,
it's really not enjoyable. Like when you get that MMR swing, and even for guys that are lower than me, it's like I shouldn't be playing guys that are lower than me, but it is what it is. But moving into, let's say, more the gameplay aspect of it for yourself, you've been playing Night Elf, and were you always playing Night Elf, or something you transitioned to?
well, it's kind of funny. Like when I first played Reign of Chaos, I was a human player.
Oh,
Uh,
all the towers.
well, yeah, I mean, see, I came fresh in from Warcraft 2, and back then it was just humans and orcs. and and so when I loaded up Warcraft 3, I thought, oh, well, I'm just gonna play humans because that's what I used to play on the campaign all the time. And I still remember the very first game was a free for all. I still remember all I did was sit in my base with 2 barracks, make footmen, and send them off to another base where I got crushed by a bunch of towers and Archmage casting Blizzard. I'm like, whoa, what the hell was that? And all the footmen just died. I'm like, what the hell just happened? That
Quite the change, eh?
still my memory after all those years. And that was like 20 years ago.
Well, 20 years ago now. I mean, I would think that with where everything has gone, the reiteration of the game is probably at its best in terms of like balance and that kind of stuff. But definitely an eye opener when you go from Warcraft 2 to Warcraft 3. You're like, what the hell is going on here? This guy's got Blizzard. But have you actually been able to try? Did you pick up like the remastered version of Warcraft 2 and 1?
Yeah, I actually got those.
I was
I
thinking
haven't
about
really
it.
done much with it. I've played some of the Warcraft 1 remastered campaign, but haven't really got that far into it.
I don't remember playing Warcraft 1. I think I played Warcraft 2 a bit when I was younger, but I don't think I played that much into it. I think Warcraft 3 was really my jam when it came out, but it looks interesting. I feel like I probably should have just picked it up to get it. But the original game of Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 is available on one of those digital sites. There was an
Yeah,
article about this
GOG, right?
GOG, right? And they were saying how they're going to sell the download and actual install package as is, so everybody has the game because they're going to have to take it down with Reforged being repackaged and all that stuff. So I thought that was interesting, and I was like, do I go buy it from them? But apparently there was like recently because there's been all the patches for Warcraft 3. Warcraft 2 just came out with a bunch of patches and they've rebalanced the game a bit. So I wonder how much that's changed the gameplay experience for guys because I popped on some of the channels and seeing people talk about it, but it's one of those things.
Hmm.
Um, Going forward, if you
Yeah,
guys have any questions, feel free to ask as long as they're appropriate questions as always. But Night Elf, and everybody says
yeah.
Night
I
Elf's the
kind of went off track there, but
Night,
yeah,
Night Elf is, everyone says Night Elf is the Imba race or human right now is the Humba race, but for a long time I think it was Keeper of the Grove that was generally the meta. Then they buffed Immolation. They played around with it. They went to Demon Hunter. Like, what's your standard Glaive feel? What am I getting? Where am I going in a solo match?
Okay, so you're asking for like my thought process on like solo
Yeah,
or like
what in your solo like? What's your comfort level like? Even if you have to go a general overview of it or by race, like what do you want to get? What's your first hero? What's the second hero? Are you give your priorities expanding? Is it
uh
creeping? What do you think?
well, yeah, so I mean, I think it's pretty clear I'm a Demon Hunter player almost thoroughly. I open with Demon Hunter almost every game, and that's because like even back in like the late 2000s or so, like Demon Hunter back then was meta, and I think that's when I really started to try to get somewhat competitive in the game was in the late 2000s. And back then it was Demon Hunter, Naga, and Bears and Dryads. That was, I mean, even back then that was pretty much the standard. And then, of course, versus Orc, though, you also had, Mass Talons, DH, Beastmaster, Tinker, Mass Talons was pretty standard.
Yeah.
And and so and then so obviously that's the one. So Demon Hunter is the hero that I have the most experience with. And then so I, for a long time, I quit Warcraft 3. I started focusing other stuff. I was in college and working and things like that. I recently came back to Warcraft 3 because now I'm done with all that stuff. I have a good job now, and I've got more time to play. So yeah, Demon Hunter I am the most comfortable with by far.
Kadark wants to know why human is broken and why undead is broken. He's trying to troll you a little bit, but
Yeah, I don't think undead is broken necessarily. Like I think overall. my opinion. I think overall, undead is one of the weaker races.
You know
That's
what?
that's my honest opinion.
I see where you're going with that. I think their units in general are kind of like our ghouls are good, but they're trash. Fiends are good, but they're trash. It's very difficult to kind of you don't have much versatility in that sense, right? With their army composition, and it's what really keeps them going is the hero nukes. It's Nova, it's the coils, it's the Dark Ranger, it's I mean even the Crypt Lord with the impales and stuff like that. I think we did talk about this recently with some guys, and we're like, you know, if you had to make some suggestions, if there was a way to scale back some of the impact that that has on the game, but if you did that, you know, what would undead feel like? But maybe taking out the heal scroll out of the shop was not a good idea, but I generally think it was a good idea because now they can actually compete for it in the middle of the map generally, depending on the location. But humans right now is probably at the strongest. Like most of the take the top players and a lot of success rates in tournaments now are human players. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's not that it's rough, and I think everything goes in cycles with the patches, but you know, you change one thing, it changes this and it changes that. It's like, do you buff the arcane tower? Do you buff moonwells? Do you reduce moonwell juice? They did. Like, do you do it again? Do you give less mana to the heroes or whatever the case may be? But you know, there's always times that you could fine tune. Glaive, how do you feel about Mike's strat? He gave you a hard time. Haha. My Cryptlord strat, Kadark? I was trying to work that out. Cryptlord, Firelord, I stole from Slay Day, and I've been trying to improve that. And now I'm not practicing. But against Night Elf, I have zero answer against Night Elf. Zero. And so we had a game there. We had a custom game there, you and I, but is what it is.
yeah. I don't remember the specifics of that game, but I just remember, you know, when you towered my natural, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I took the zig out, and you know, and I just felt like, you know, just sitting there and just taking out that zig took off a lot of time from me creeping and being aggressive on the map, and that thing just threw me off. Like,
I gotta go back and look at it again. But I've been really trying to wrap my head around the Night Elf situation with Crypt Lord and trying to use Fire Lord, but you know, like Norchikar says, it's really got to spread your beetles. You got to do that kind of stuff. But if you get past the 9 minutes, because usually you get that 9 minute push with a tower or there's a Nerubian push or stuff like that. You know, you're on borrowed time really, unless you're Death Knight gargoyles. I think you were complaining about that earlier, or was that Fat Russell that was complaining about that gargoyles against Night
it
Elf?
was, yeah. Well, yeah, I was kind of like, he's saying, you know, undead's pissing me off. I'm like, well, what's making you angry? I'm like, is it Gargs? Like, because I say, yeah, Gargs, Necrowagon, Banshee Possessed, like those things would probably tilt me most. But
Well, when I see bears, I feel like you have to go banshees. And you know, if you're Baron, you're getting Banshees exclusively against Night Elf, and you're trying to ghoul pull all the time, which all the pro players are doing now, right? Against Night Elf, they're sending their ghoul to pull for the AOW. Hey, remember the Reign of Chaos DK and Fiend strat? That was a blast. I don't You don't see too many DK and Fiend strat anymore, very rarely. But yeah, you guys can ask genuine questions. It's totally acceptable. While they're doing that and thinking about questions, Glaive, I'm going to ask you a couple random questions I've asked some other guys. What is your favorite unit from the game?
my favorite unit,
Yeah, could be
well,
from any race.
hmm. Well, I mean, I'm kind of biased. Like, I'm already thinking about bears. Like, just because, you know, they have rejuvenation and roar, and I abuse the hell out of them.
Hey,
Uh,
that's what Williams would say. Typical Night Elf player would do.
yeah.
Penguin, you gotta ask a real question. Why does Glaive play so well in practice and poorly when I gamble my points on him? Yeah, well, sometimes things don't go the way they are. I don't play well when I have people gamble against me. I always lose in my showdown
Penguin's
matches.
full of shit. That's all there is to it.
He's full of it. All right. All right. So that's your favorite unit, and who would you consider potentially your favorite player or somebody you really try to mirror yourself?
Uh, Kaho. Yeah,
Kaho. Yeah.
I study a lot of Kaho replays, and I try to emulate his playstyle, and that's because like I just find him like probably like the easiest like high level player to emulate. Like Moon, like his understanding of the game is extremely deep. Like I don't think I can hope to mirror that level of knowledge that he has, and so he has a very diverse play style, and it's very hard to emulate. Whereas DH is actually it's a pretty simple play style. I'm not gonna lie there. Like there's not there's only like a few things you can do with Demon Hunter because it's so rigid. It's more there's more emphasis on efficiency and execution more than your knowledge of the game.
Yeah. Well, Demon Hunter, I feel like it's just that staple hero that can be used against any race just for the mana burn of the immolation. So it's kind of hard not to pick. I mean, people would be going keeper, but I feel like keeper's not really right now the meta in terms of what everybody's bringing to the table. It's like it's not as effective necessarily as it used to be because at one point it was always keeper the girl. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was one patch where Keeper was very strong. Yeah, and that was 1.17, I believe.
Yeah. Jens plays a lot of keeper. Yeah, Jens plays a lot of keeper.
Jins plays a lot of every damn thing too.
Oh, he's a really solid player. I mean, he's been improved quite a bit. And we were talking about Janek, who won NA Cup. Sorry, didn't win NA Cup, but came in second in NA Cup 9. And I feel like, and then talking to him privately, and I was like, if you actually were able to put in the time to practice, I feel like you'd be that much better, closer in terms of MMR and stuff. So it's weird. It's weird. Warcraft. It's like one of those games where some people just have it and play less games, and some people maybe need to put in a little bit of practice and work, and other people can be stuck at 1200 for 10,000 games, and it makes no difference. It's such a deep game.
Yeah, I've got a lot of experience with being hard stuck.
What's your max MMR have you reached?
My max is like 1750 something.
And you're 15 now?
I'm
16?
I'm currently just a little over 1700.
Oh,
Um,
right here. You were saying you were 17 over 100. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I don't know. I might be climbing higher soon because lately I've been playing higher level players and like I haven't been laddering much, but it seems like I'm doing pretty well on uh, BNet and customs recently.
Well, the
And
question everybody wants to know is, have you beaten North Chakar?
you know, I don't remember if I have or not actually. Like his strategy, like I just don't I haven't figured out how to play efficiently against it yet.
Yeah, he seems to throw everybody off even with his under 100 APM. And I laugh because I'm like, that's me. That's how much APM I have.
Well, he plays a very macro oriented strategy, so like the APM isn't all that important really.
Yeah. Torch wants to know why you picked the worst siege engine name or
Well,
siege unit in
okay,
the game.
so well, all right. So back in the old days, like my name was on US West, that's Lordaeron, like an old Battle.net server.
Yeah.
It was Glaive Master. And I named it after the Huntress unit. I also named it after the Demon Hunter. Both of them wield glaives as weapons.
Now there's the history, Torch. That's a good question though, even though it was a little bit to poke fun at you, but that's a very good answer. Pat Russell, Norchikar's a noob. Yeah, he's not a noob. He's a 1800 pro. He just pretends he's not. If you guys do have other questions for Glaive, you do ask, but you gotta get some deep questions here. Um, where do you see Warcraft 3 in the next 5 years?
Hmm, it's tough to say, but I'm not gonna lie to you. It just seems like it's pretty bleak right now. Like, it seems like the community's becoming more divided and between the KK platform and Champions and BattleNet. Like, competitive Warcraft 3, I really don't know. Like, I feel like it's going down at the moment.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, I think there's always going to be casual players around.
Well, there'll be. It's like any other the retro or the nostalgic games. People are going to stream them and play them, but it seems like a lot of players have joined recently, and then a lot of the standard players that have been in the community have kind of left or not playing anymore. Or they're doing other things, and just with the drama. I don't. I guess you could say it's drama, but just the Blizzard handling the game as a mess. There's W3C, there's KK, there's all kinds of player pool. The player pool is being split everywhere. It seems like the game is slowly aging its way out. But Penguin wants to know when you plan to play in the next NA Cup, and if you're going to play in NA Cup 10.
Well, Penguin, tell you what, if I ever hit 1800, 1900 MMR, maybe I'll try it.
Penguin, he just wants to face you in the next tournament. That's why he's asking. Careful what you ask for, Penguin. He might just do it. Um, Without any more serious questions, Mr. Glaive, from the audience, because I don't think they're going to ask any more serious questions. Um, I would say we'll touch on the community before we wrap up. But what are your thoughts on the community as a whole? Because when I talk to people and we just generally ask about the game and say what keeps you here after 20 years of playing the game, and they generally say uh, the community and
Yeah,
the
well,
camaraderie, right?
yeah, well, I think the community is generally a mixed bag. Like there's a lot of scumbags. There are some cool people here and there though. I think I think your channel has got a lot of cool people. Jim has a lot of good people too, I think. Uh, some crazies, but decent people still.
there's there's a lot of the characters in there that have personas and stuff, but
But
yeah, go
but
ahead.
yeah, I mean, but BattleNets, for example, like you go to like any 4 versus 4 game, like I feel like that they're full of idiots and scumbags, and I don't like to hang with those people at all.
Well, those are the guys that generally not in the gym Discord, right? And I think, let's say my channel or my Discord is just an offshoot of the gym guys. It's just a small sliver. But Glaive is my favorite drug dealer.
Yeah,
Slade's got to come in and disappear for a while, and then come back in and drop a nice hint of je ne sais quoi, and poke fun at Mr. Glaive. Glaive's he doesn't deal drug dealers. It's legitimate stuff, right? He used to
yeah,
be,
legit.
you're
Yeah,
right.
get it right.
It's legit, man. Those are
I have a
skills.
license for this shit.
um, yeah, and I think the community is the one thing that pulled me in and kind of get me, doing some things in matches and tournaments and stuff like that. Especially a lot of cool guys to talk to like yourself, and we get to do this, so that's pretty awesome. Before I get wrap it up with Mister Glaive, guys, does anybody want to ask him a serious question pertaining to Warcraft 3 or such? Because if not, I'm gonna let the man play or let the man sleep. What do you think about Direct Strike?
It's an okay game, I guess. It's not really not really kind of game that I really want to get into, but it's all right. I don't. I think it's pretty limited in scope as to like as far as how advanced the metagame goes. But
I've dabbled in it, but it has moments like if I want to play Warcraft, but I want a brain dead moment, I'll go play that. Like it's okay, but it's I don't know. It's low key. Like you're not microwaving. You're not pressing the keyboard every 10 seconds. So there's that. Penguin's got a good question for you. He's like, what win are you most proud of? And I imagine he means in your Warcraft
uh,
3 history.
hmm. Well, I haven't really beaten that many great players to be honest. Let's see. Uh, some people I'm thinking about. Muscle Mike, I've taken a couple games from him.
Nice.
Uh, let's see. I've beaten a couple of. I beat a 1900 Pally rifle player recently.
Who was that?
Arenicus, I believe.
Arenicus. Have I seen that name before? I don't know. Anybody who beats Pally Rifle, though, I like it. I hate Pally Rifle. I can't stand playing against it. Oh, you know that Arenicus, yeah. Anybody else that comes to mind?
Not really, no. Like I said, I haven't really beaten that many good or great players as far as I know.
Well, who would consider your equal or your nemesis that you play often?
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Hmm. I would say Kaio. It's probably we're about half and half right now, I think.
Not disengage.
Disengage. Disengage is a contender for that too.
There you go. You got your answer. He's poking himself with an arrow. Arch nemesis. Oh yes, arch nemesis. But it's funny to ask that question about, let's say, your best wins, because maybe your best win came at a tournament or a league or a ladder game. Not the,
I don't play a lot of tournaments because, I mean, because I just don't like playing in tournaments that I feel like I don't really have a great chance at winning.
right. That makes
And
sense.
that's my answer to KD's question earlier, or Kadark. Reason why I want to wait till 1800, 1900, because that's when I feel like I have some chance of winning.
There you go, guys. I have a list of guys I've beaten that I probably shouldn't have beaten, and one day I'm gonna add your name to the table. I'm gonna add your name to the list and be like, I beat Glaive at least one time. But yeah, my arch nemesis. I know, guys. Arch nemesis and arch nemesis. ARCH or ARK. Guys are all silly tonight. Well, Mr. Glaive, I thank you for coming on to have a little chat about Warcraft 3. And hopefully
Yep, sure.
we'll be seeing you in the next NA Cup, or at least in the next tournament where you probably will hit 1800. I'm sure you will.
We'll see.
No, I have faith. I totally. You grind it out. I'll call Jabba. You'll practice with you.
I gotta set my own training schedule.
Yeah. Well, time, right? I mean, we all have in real life jobs.
Yeah, and that's the main thing holding me back. I'm pretty tired a lot from working, so.
No, I hear you. It's a long day. But having said that, thank you, Mr. Glaive, for coming on Call to Arms.
Yep.
Warcraft podcast with the boys.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, buddy.